Good to see you.
Alright there, Revenants, welcome back to Code Vein in the Road 100, where today we are running Hephaestus with an alleviated hammer and an alleviated Blackblood Liberator to be under the 104 weight here of Hephaestus with the 30% increase from Revenant's Ambition here. And so the idea of this build in specific is to alternate between a charge attack and an active gift. Between the two of them, you should have plenty of damage in between each of those aggression topics. However, the real challenge to this comes in the fact that Eva has massive AoE abilities all over the place. There's nothing really interesting to talk about in this space specifically for a fast, quick attack pattern, because the fastest way through here is just to lightning charge all the way through. And if you don't have lightning charge, then you run with Louis and reckless ambition, or reckless abandon, and then after reckless abandon, then you just dodge through all of the areas and stuff, and it becomes pretty simple. So for this setup here, you literally just want to charge attack and dodge, and then charge attack and attack with a tormenting blast. And because we have two options in charge attacks and a gift, we will be able to do some pretty awesome damage in very short order here, if we don't get smacked in the face like that. And you can see that our I-Core recovery is very good. Okay, let's go ahead and get all of our gifts going here. Okay. Whoops. Okay, well, that was a lot of whoopses that we were talking about there. But this is going to be a spacing game of, you know, how close or how far you are from Eva, and the damage that we will be doing will not be fast in and of itself. What will be fast is how we alternate in between the charge attacks and the gift attacks. So that's the plan anyways. And this build can make mincemeat pie out of single target basic regular enemies because of how fast everything happens in how it engages with the elevator did not go down, but how fast it engages with an enemy's AI tracking, and how that actually interacts with how the AI will back up or choose to attack, or what it's doing. This kind of speed of charge attacks into knockdowns, typically into a gift attack, is very challenging for the AI to keep up with. However, in boss territory like this, right, it's a little easier for Eva to track us because of her blades and sand and everything that's everywhere. So it is kind of a problem all around, but that's okay. We can deal with it. Alright, and here we go. Let's not get slapped in the face upon entering the arena here, and hopefully we can show her who is boss here. Okay, so you see there we just got 12 I-Core. Pretty awesome. Okay. Ouch. Okay, for whatever reason, we just can't hit her. Okay, and she just one-taps us. Oh man, that is the hilarity of Vayne, is that this can be exceptionally fast or exceptionally painful, and it's tough to make the hammers in any kind of viable sense of the way to make them fast and engaging, and all at the same time being viable for what we have. Now the problem with Eva is that she is like pretty slender and tall, and there's not a lot of body mass there to engage with. And so when we are running Tormenting Blast or the charge attacks for the Queenslayer hammer specifically, they have movement involved in their attack pattern and everything. And the reality is that with this setup, you need an enemy that's kind of, you need an enemy that's a little bit wider than what Eva is, that can interact with the wide sweeping strikes of the gifts and everything, and it can make for a really great way in how to go about somebody like Oliver or something. But for Eva, it's pretty tough, to make everything hit their mark, just because of the fact that she's not thick at all. She's like the anti-thick, and so that's where a lot of this problem comes from for this build, is to simply try and get to a position where you can actually interact with her character model to make sure that it is doing what damage you are planning on putting out. And so we'll make it work here as much as we can for the time being, but no promises. And that's just how Vayne goes, that sometimes there are good gifts and sometimes there are trash gifts or builds, and sometimes you just don't get lucky here. As you can see, we're only doing about 1,000 damage, and it's, as you can see, kind of tough to make your gifts heard there. Okay, and so you want to back up a little bit and then go from a distance there. Okay. Alright, I guess we'll just see, and if you're too close, you can't make it hit. Okay, now the fireballs here are going to help us kind of, stagger her a little bit. Okay, and we missed again. Somehow we missed that one. Okay. So you can see how most of the time our attacks are going to be missing her and such. That's kind of the problem of this entire setup here, is that we do have, oh, come on, I thought I dodged that. Oops. Is that we have a hitbox that is kind of weird to work with, because we have to play like an intermediate distancing game with her to make sure that our charge attacks and our tormenting blast connect with her model. And you can see that if you take it just a slightly bit slower, you can have some pretty good success. But the reality is that we want to go fast through here, and we just can't really engage with the speed that we want to, because of the hammers being what they are. They are very, 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 very hard to accelerate, and there is not a lot here for us to build on top of to make sure that we have, a very, very fast gameplay plugged into her boss fight here. Now, you might think, well, why don't you just use lightning charge during the fight? Well, that doesn't put me in any better position than what I'm doing right now, because this doesn't do any damage, and that is what you need, is to do damage in order to win the boss fight. So if you're going for a fast form of gameplay, sometimes that can work with specific bosses and stuff. The Eva boss playing with a hammer here is not a really great example of how to engage with this boss in such a way where you are trying to get several attacks or stuff like that all at once. This is a kind of very slow boss fight, in a sense that you need to be deliberate in your attack patterns, and there is no just going to town on the attacks here because of her. Because of those kinds of attacks where they do insane amounts of damage, and those attacks which are very, very wide sweeping. Okay. And if you want to just go around in circles, that is where you can kind of engage with this fight more common than normal, because most of the time you're just going in circles anyways. And you can see that a charge attack does 2340, which is not a lot of damage at all. And for this fight specifically, that she has over 100 and some thousand damage or HP, that you definitely want to be you know, getting more damage than 600 every now and then. But you can see that it's very, very helpful, beneficial, and great for oh, we're dead. Oh, she missed somehow. For having extra damage here along the way and extra stun. So very, very nice. Okay, we missed her. And you see that that's a lot of times a real problem here that we have to deal with, is that we just have to try and hit her, and most of the time we can't. Oops. So 327, pretty awful damage there. Okay, let's see where the pillars are, where the tornadoes are. Okay, we're in a good zone here. And we're flattened. Yep. So you can see that, like, even though our attacks are quick and everything is kind of fast and quick and we have things sped up and everything, the damage is very, very, very low and very, very, very slow. That was a pretty good run, and we were only like 1/3 of the way through her health bar and everything, and this setup here is kind of not great for bossing. But if we go about engaging with a couple of regular enemies here, this build will be able to kind of push these guys around at will here, and we have great ability to you know, dodge in and out. Oops. Okay. And you can see there that he was like staggered most of the time, and it's typically you want to finish the guy off with Tormenting Blast, and you want to use your first couple of attacks to actually gain Ichor. So this build in and of itself is actually pretty decent, pretty stable, and it's got a Claw Veil with 9 Ichor on a recovery here, so very, very good overall. And as you can see here, we can go for some flattening attacks. Okay, and we can always knock these fellas down and then always finish them off with a Tormenting Blast. So it can be very, very fast here. Okay. Okay. I don't know what's going on here, but we're getting hit somehow. So we have a charge booster on. Oops. Okay, and we can flatten both of them. Okay. And you can see there that if we're put into a corner, we definitely can go for some very, very, very fast charge attacks and flatten these enemies all over the place. This is a very, very, very fun build for the enemies. This is not a fun build for the Eva fight at all. So if we zippity zoom over this way, let's see, what do I have left if I do this? This too? Okay. Let's go for a gift accelerator and a charge booster. Hello. And then let's play with the okay, we're out of Ichor here, so we'll load up on Ichor on this fella here. Oh, come on. There we go. 7 Ichor, that's not incredibly great. Okay, so let's go for a charge attack on this guy, and there we go. Oh, somehow we lost Ichor in the sand here. I think that's part of the glitch. Okay, so let's go for a gift accelerator, a charge booster, and let's see how we fare against this fella, because most of the times this guy is extra powerful and extra painful, because most of the time, whoops, you can't get close to this guy, and if you do, he just completely ruins you because of how he engages with you. But because we have a flattening technique, now we are able to constantly engage with him in a very, very fun way, and even from distance. So it's very awesome in that regard. Whoops. Okay, let's get some health here. Ouch. Okay, and then let's... Oh, okay. Those little sandworms, those are very annoying. But you can see that if we're not getting hit and staggered by the sandworms the entire time of the fight, we are able to really put out some problems for him where he just can't get off the ground. Very, very, very fun in that regard because of that kind of engagement sequence. Okay, now this is going to be pretty awful because of all these sandworms here. Okay, and... oh geez. And we even have another little helper friend here to make our life miserable. Excellent. But that's pretty much what this build has to offer, is for very weak balance enemies, like these guys in this area. It can do some crazy work on these guys. And the cool thing is that because it is at a distance, because the charge attack works from a standing position at a different point, then you have the option to actually really put out some quick, awesome damage on most enemies where you wouldn't normally be able to put them. So very fun, very action-packed, and if we can get some of these backstabs here so these sandworms don't hit us. Okay, and you can see that it is a cause for a lot of fun against these guys, and because we have like a super auto tracking with the hammer here on the charge attacks, we can always be tracking this guy wherever he's going. Okay, let's go ahead and heal if I can. Okay, good. And we'll wait for him to get up. Boom. And we'll just put some extra damage in there. Whoops. Whoop. Okay. And the cool thing is that, you know, when he does his sand shield, typically, you know, there's nothing you can do because all of your gifts are running out, and there's nothing you can do about it, and so you just kind of are at his mercy. But this time, because he can't really get up or do anything, and he's constantly on the ground, you have a whole lot better sense of survival, and that's really what this build is meant to do, is to put enemies down. And since Eva, she can't be put down and she can't be controlled, then, you know, this isn't really the build for that boss fight. This is mainly for somebody like the Dust Bandit or something like that. So you can see here that, like, these guys just, they get pancaked very quickly, very easily, and it makes them into kind of a joke here. And because you have a really good amount of I-Core recovery from a charge attack, you are able to maintain all of your I-Core as you go along, and most of the time you're fighting only one enemy at a time. So anyways, this is what I wanted to cover for this time, is low balance enemies take advantage of the queenslayer hammer and its charge attack, and paired with some kind of quick attack. Now you could switch between that or dragon lunge, but the 15 seconds cooldown here is pretty unbearable. So keep that in mind, and thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Or, well, not tomorrow. anyways, next time, whenever that next time is, you guys have a good day. Bye.